Hugo Talks. Many have asked the question, but it's not something that Hugo wants you to know, which is okay. In fact, he will actively delete, block and censor anyone who posts anything about his identity. This is not okay. So much for his belief in freedom of speech. Let's dig in. Go to his main YouTube channel Hugo Talks. The About section shows the channel was created in 2016. Which is odd as Hugo Talks only came onto the scene in 2020. So let's copy the URL and go to the Wayback Machine. The oldest archive of the channel is from the 7th of March 2017. The channel used to be called Bandcamp Post Rock. You'll recognize the purple Hugo Talks logo that he used, so we know this is the same person. The channel once again rebranded in 2018 and called itself Goat Collective, but still had the purple Hugo Talks logo. Then in 2020 the channel once again rebranded to Hugo Talks and all the previous videos of Bandcamp Post Rock and Goat Collective were deleted. Why? Let's go back to the Bandcamp Post Rock page. Check out the latest video published back then. We are happy to premiere Flicker Rate's new single, Reframe, of his upcoming release, Reframe EP. So Hugo Talks, formerly Bandcamp Post Rock, promoted the music video of a musician called Flicker Rate. Remember that name? Now look at the featured channels section. There's a channel called Bandcamp Post Metal. Click on that and it takes you to a 2018 archived YouTube channel called Intelligentsia. Interesting name and logo, some creepy little animal face. An owl maybe. None of the videos was saved so I can't watch them, but from the titles we get a good idea of their content. Lots of showbiz, Jordan Peterson, Meghan Markle, and Prince Harry. If you copy that channel's URL, and go on the internet, you can find that the channel Intelligentsia is still active, also created in 2016. And you'll recognize the username of Bandcamp Post Metal. So, we know it's the same person. But all the old videos have been deleted. It now only contains 18 videos, all from 2 years ago. All but 2 were narrated by the same man, but I'll let him introduce himself.
Hello, you're listening to Yellow King Sound Man. Hi, and welcome to the channel. Look, as if we didn't have enough problems already in the world, as it is with the pandemic, coronavirus, lockdown. So what's next? Looks like we are being invaded by giant Asian hornets. Hi, I'm Hugo, and today I'm talking about the new Tiger King show. Hello, you're listening to Hugo, and I'm talking about the supermoon, the last supermoon of the year. Hi, you're listening to Hugo Talks. Brian Howe, the lead singer of Bad Company, has died. Hello, you're listening to Hugo Talking, today about Jimmy Kimmel. Hi, I'm Hugo, and let's talk about Boris Johnson.
Is that you, Hugo? Certainly sounds like it. You'll also note the same purple of certain thumbnails with the initials HT, the same layout and text font as the current Hugo Talks, so Hugo used to be Yellow King Sound Man. Hugo Talks backup channel Hugo Talks and More was created in 2021, and according to the Wayback Machine, it was always called the same. Now let's check out Hugo Talks backup channel Hugo Talks and More yet again. This channel was created in 2015. So is actually older than the main Hugo Talks channel, formerly Goat Collective, formerly Bandcamp Post Rock. How odd. Now let's put this URL into the Wayback Machine. The oldest archive is from the 20th of October 2017. The channel used to be called Soundbites. But it also included the little green Hugo Talks logo. So again, it's the same person. The cover art for the channel is somewhat dark. A normally seductive image of someone licking their lips that has been inverted into something disturbing. The videos aren't archived, but the titles show they are all about showbiz. An archive of the channel from the 7th of March 2018 shows numerous related channels. The one of interest is Interview Monkey. This redirects us to a 2013 archived YouTube channel called Illuminous 6. Another interesting name. The next archived version of the channel is from 2019, when the channel's name had been changed to Meghan Markle Prince Harry News. The channel's username was still Illuminous6, so once again, the same person. Guess what? The channel is still active today, putting out almost daily news. There are hundreds of videos gushing about the royal couple. Their thumbnails also have a similar layout and text font to Hugo Talks. However, the oldest video is from 1 year ago, in which Alex introduces herself. She says she's a fan of the channel and Hugo asked her to take over for 2 weeks as he was too busy. But Hugo never came back, and Alex is still doing the show.
Hello, and a very warm welcome to Meghan and Harry News YouTube channel. Hello, my name is Alex. Very nice to meet you all. I'm taking over from Hugo for the next 2 weeks. He has a lot on his plate at the moment, and he asked me to step in. And being a fan of the channel, I thought, well, why not? It will be fun. So I'm going to try and keep it in a very similar format to how Hugo would have presented it. So, without further ado...
Seriously, do you believe that a guy would ask a random fan to take over his channel just because he was a bit busy? That he would just give over his passwords to a stranger? No way. Hugo and Alex know each other, or are potentially related. And what a coincidence that this pro-royalist, who's linked to Hugo Talks' former channels, is also called Hugo. According to a screenshot of the channel's Instagram page, which has now been deleted and not archived, the bio stated that it was run by someone called Hugo who also ran Hugo Talks. If Hugo had simply had an awakening about the royal family and turned anti-monarchy, like Hugo Talks claims, then he would have suspended the channel, not just handed it off to a fan. This random fan would also need to have the software, knowledge and ability to produce, edit and put out videos. There used to be a website for Harry and Meghan's channel. It's now deleted, but we can find it on the Wayback Machine. The username that uploaded videos to the website until 2021 was called Hugo Waverley. The Hugo Talks Facebook group has videos uploaded to it from an account called Hugo Waverley. How coincidental. Notice the slightly different spelling of the surname. This would lead many to believe that Hugo's real name is Hugo Waverley. But let's keep looking to see if that's just a red herring. As an online user noted, funnily enough, there's a character called Hugo Waverley in the Regency romance book series, League of Rogues, by Lauren Smith. Hugo is the ongoing evil villain, a spymaster for Her Majesty, who is hiding in plain sight, causing mayhem and destruction for the group of heroes. Does Hugo Talks consider himself a genius spymaster with all his channels, renames, websites, etc.? He does seem to like to muddy the waters, pointing fingers at everyone and everything while hiding his past and portraying himself as an intelligent, awake, born-again Christian. Many of Hugo's videos have caused people to not know what to think, or who to trust, which paralyzes them. As well as causes discord and arguments. It's called cognitive infiltration and all the intelligence agencies do it. Is that who Hugo Waverley is? A made-up agent? Is he a group of spies or intelligence officers? Hugo Talks' current YouTube channel shows his oldest videos being from 2020. However, YouTube channel, Owl Queen, shared a video 2 years back of a screen recording of his channel. Some of the oldest videos were all about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. They have now all been deleted, but we can recognize the thumbnails of other videos in the screen recording that are still on Hugo Talks' channel today. Regretfully, there's no archived footage of the channel, but it just indicates that Hugo Talks and Meghan Markle and Prince Harry News are one and the same. No wonder he left the channel to Alex, considering his anti-monarchy statements on Hugo Talks. If we go back to the Wayback Machine's archives of Hugo Talks some more yet again, formerly soundbites, the 17th of March 2018 screenshot shows the related channels to be Yellow King Filmboy, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry News and Intelligentsia. So, a round circle once again linking Hugo to all of these channels. Now, let's click on Yellow King Filmboy this time, as we've seen it featured repeatedly. This links to another archived YouTube channel that talks about showbiz and movies. The oldest archive of this channel is from the 9th of September 2017. The channel used to be called Yellow King Toy Boy. And in the related channels section, we have Bandcamp Post Metal, which is now Intelligentsia with videos by Hugo Talks. There's also the channel Bandcamp collection, which has a purple logo for Hugo Talks. So, another of his channels. This links to an archive page from 2017. The logo image is the same as the one for Bandcamp Post Rock, which was renamed Hugo Talks in 2020, and it has Bandcamp Post Metal, renamed Intelligentsia, as a related channel. The channel states that they share music from Bandcamp. More on him later. If you take the Yellow King Film Boy URL and go to YouTube, you can find that the channel is still active, although its oldest video is from 2017, and up until 2 years ago. Why did they delete all the older videos? Let's listen to the intros.
Quentin Tarantino and David Fincher are considered to be two of the best modern film directors working today. Hey, Yellow King Film Boy here. Quentin Tarantino. He's been doing some interviews. Hey, Yellow King Film Boy here. Hope you're doing good. Today I want to talk about a film that's coming out this summer, and I'm very hyped to see this film, very excited to see it. Hey, it's Yellow King Film Boy here. Hi, you're listening to Yellow King Film Boy. The greatest actor of his generation. This is a phrase that has often been associated with Joaquin Phoenix. Hi, you're listening to Yellow King Film Boy. Hello, you're listening to Yellow King Film Boy. Hello, you're listening to Yellow King Film Boy. It seems every big movie is being postponed due to the pandemic.
What do you know? It's Hugo. The same as from the Intelligentsia channel, where he called himself Yellow King Soundman. Hugo narrates almost every video. He talks about movies, director's choices, and what he thinks of them. Generally positive remarks, although he does seem a little obsessed with the Joker. He likes Quentin Tarantino and Stanley Kubrick. It's a direct contrast to the sort of things that Hugo Talks now says about satanic Hollywood, the Peekaboo Club, and Netflix poisoning minds with propaganda.
In the 20 years since the original Matrix, the Wachowskis have gone through their own changes and transformations. The two were both brothers back in 1999, and now in 2019 they are both women, having both changed their gender. Lawrence became Lana in 2012, and her brother Andrew became Lily in 2016. And this story would make an interesting movie. So this sounds really good film. So I'm seriously hyped about seeing this film. I mean, there's a good fair few films that are coming out this summer that I'm interested in seeing. I mean, Toy Story 4. I mean, I'll check that out. I'm curious to see that. Of course, Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But this particular film, yes, this sounds right up my street. So, what do you guys think?
Yellow King Film Boy openly says that he likes some very dark films. These are very dark, satanic-themed films. So, I guess Hugo had a dark side before he suddenly found Jesus last year. Or is he lying about that? Whoever Hugo is, he has had, and still has, numerous YouTube channels and websites. A tangled web indeed. Yellow King Film Boy has an interesting logo, an animal, maybe a wolf with horns. Maybe the horns are ears. Not sure. So, let's go all the way back to the oldest archive of Hugo Talks some more yet again, formerly Sound Bites. The related channels are Yellow King Film Boy and Flickr Rate. Remember them? Flickr Rate redirects to another YouTube channel archived in 2019. The channel features music by then 17-year-old Spencer Bassett. It states that the song Skylight was filmed in an abandoned cottage shed in Ireland, around where he lives. So let's look this channel up today. Yes, it's still active. Created in 2015, the description says, 17-year-old multi-instrumentalist, I make music under the name of Flicker Rate. Okay, so the same guy. It also tells us that we can download from Bandcamp. Let's click on that. Weren't Hugo Talks channels formerly called Bandcamp? And Hugo's channels promoted Flicker Rate's music, and linked to his channels. What a coincidence. So, the Bandcamp website for Flicker Rate has the same profile picture for Spencer Bassett, and he's located in Sligo, Ireland. If we go to his album Skylight EP, we can learn that the music was mixed and mastered by a man called John Bassett. It also links us to his page on Bandcamp. Wow, now that's some dark, disturbing images. John Bassett, also a musician, calls himself Arcade Messiah and is also located in Sligo, Ireland. And they are clearly linked to Hugo Talks. Good friends or maybe family. I always did wonder where Hugo Talks got the music he played at the end of his videos. What with copyright laws, maybe he made it himself, maybe Spencer or John Bassett did. So, who are they? If you type John Bassett into a search engine, the first result is a wiki link to John White Hughes Bassett, a Canadian music producer. There are multiple John Bassetts in the family, lots of links to music and sport, perhaps they are distantly related. So, let's add Sligo to the search. And there he is. John Bassett's own website. He's been making music under the names of Arcade Messiah, King Bathmat, John Bassett, Sacred Ape since 2003. And they all have profiles on Bandcamp. The name Arcade Messiah is interesting. Arcade makes us think of Arcadia, and Messiah, well, the Messiah is meant to save the world in most religions. King Bathmat doesn't sound very flattering, but it's interesting that we have another king title. Remember how Hugo would call himself Yellow King? And finally, Sacred Ape. Sacred is a religious word, yet ape makes us think of the theory of evolution, the opposite of the religious theory of creation. Again, another strange name choice, and all of their artwork is rather disturbing and dark. The biography of John Bassett says that he produces post-rock, post-metal, progressive metal and acoustic music. Funny how Hugo's old channels used to be called Bandcamp Post-Rock and Bandcamp Post-Metal. John Bassett's bio also says that he was born in Walthamstow, London, and that his mother, an ex-convent nun, and his father, a meter reader, fed and looked after him until the age of 16. That's a strange way of describing your parents and childhood. And what about Spencer Bassett? A 2016 Progradar.org review of his music states that Spencer is actually the son of the celebrated Hastings musician John Bassett. And the 2017 review described John Bassett as king of the incredibly dense wall of sound. Aha, another king title. So, what is Hastings-born, now Sligo resident, Spencer Bassett up to now? Well, he has a podcast called Thoughts on Thinking. He describes it as focusing on philosophy and psychology to search for and reveal high levels of depth surrounding the complex realities of the human psyche and our expression upon the world. Spencer also has a YouTube channel of the same name. He talks about religion, finding God, spirituality, New Age, philosophy, psychology and so on. And check out his thumbnails. They use the same style as Hugo Talks. The channel was created in 2019 and has a backup channel of the same name created in 2022. Both channels link to his one-on-one coaching website. You can book a call to talk to Spencer to help break free of procrastination. Or on his website you can also purchase a Mind Over Matrix course for £199 to help reach your true potential. On his other, Thoughts on Thinking website, we can learn he works as a coach for the Maiorum Society. A society for young men who are serious about transformation. In his post, Why You Struggle to Individuate, Spencer writes, you lack the guidance necessary to achieve your goals and lack a tribe of men to encourage and fight with you on your path upward. A tribe of men, huh? Hang on, what is it Hugo Talks always says? Come join the tribe on his website. I always thought that was an odd choice of word. The Maiorum Society's logo of an all-seeing eye in a triangle shape speaks volumes and should have alarm bells ringing. From an archived version of the website, we can learn that Spencer is a student of philosophy and psychology. The coaches' names have since been removed from the website. The Maiorum Society emailed daily practical advice to their members inspired by Peterson, Campbell, Jung, Nietzsche and others. Spencer frequently discusses Jung and Nietzsche on his Thoughts on Thinking channel. And Hugo shared lots of Jordan Peterson stuff on his former channel too. Maiorum is the genitive plural of greater or elder. So Spencer works with the Greater Society that uses an all-seeing eye and triangle logo. And they want people to come sign up with their tribe of men to reach their true potential. Their language almost has a cult-like ring to it. Spencer used to have an Instagram account, but it has now been deleted for some reason, which is odd considering his young age and desire to grow his business. He does have a Thoughts on Thinking Instagram channel, however. Interestingly, his old personal Twitter account is still active. And guess what? Spencer has a one-eye sign in his profile picture. Peekaboo. And here's another interesting piece of news. There's a young artist called Tasman Bassett, originally from England, now living in Sligo. And guess what? She went to school in Sussex. Hastings is in Sussex too. What are the chances of two completely unrelated English families, both from Sussex, with the same surname, and children of similar ages, moving to Sligo, Ireland? Check out Tasman's LinkedIn and Instagram profile pics. There's a similarity between her and Spencer. Siblings maybe. Tasman also has a YouTube art channel. Tasman has had her channel since 2017, but her oldest video is from 4 years ago. Did she have older videos that have been deleted for unknown reasons? Was her channel renamed? Regretfully, it was never archived at the Wayback Machine, so it's impossible to know. And guess what? She sounds very similar to the Lady Alex, who took over Hugo's Meghan Markle and Prince Harry news channel.
Hello and welcome to another video. Today is a DIY video on how to make silhouettes. Now, these were a popular form of art in the 18th and 19th century and were essentially a poor man's version of photography. They were made with paper, black paper, and cut out using the silhouette or the form of your face in shadow and then translated into paper. Hello and a very warm welcome to Meghan and Harry News YouTube channel. Hello, my name is Alex, very nice to meet you all. I'm taking over from Hugo for the next 2 weeks. He has a lot on his plate at the moment and he asked me to step in.
In fact, they both have similar opening credits and logos. Tasman made a video of her entire family in Victorian silhouettes. It appears to show her mum, dad, brother and dogs. I guess the portrait kind of looks like Spencer. I mean, it has long hair. But it's hardly definitive proof. On John Bassett's YouTube channel, we can find a profile photo of him. Like the Victorian silhouette, he has a beard and long hair. In a 2015 interview, John said, "If you look at the news today, and see things happening in the world, and all the corruption that's going on, it can get you down. You think nothing will really improve and things will get worse." I thought I'd take that mentality and put it to music. That sounds like Hugo venting at the mainstream media and nonsense news articles. You can listen to numerous songs of John Bassett singing. There are some similarities to Hugo Talks, but it's very hard to tell as singing changes people's voices. There are actually some decent songs, nothing to be ashamed of. John's Twitter profile picture is a pencil drawing of his face. I wonder if Tasman drew it. So what have we actually learnt about Hugo Talks? Hugo Talks channel used to be called Bandcamp Post Rock and Goat Collective. His channel Hugo Talks some more yet again used to be called Soundbites. He also has a channel called Intelligentsia, formerly called Bandcamp Post Metal, where he called himself Yellow King Soundman and Hugo Talks. He had a channel called Illuminous 6, renamed to Monkey Interview, and renamed again to Meghan Markle and Prince Harry News, which he posted to using the name Hugo Waverley, until he handed it over to Alex. All of these channels interlink and feature each other and use the same logos. Hugo's former channels have promoted and linked to musician Flicker Rate, real name Spencer Bassett of Hastings, now living in Sligo, Ireland. 21-year-old Spencer has a YouTube channel called Thoughts on Thinking, and is a coach for the Maiorum Society, which has an all-seeing eye triangle logo, and invites men to come join their tribe to reach their true potential. Spencer's father is musician John Bassett of London, now living in Sligo, Ireland. Stage names, Arcade Messiah, King Baphomet and Sacred Ape on Bandcamp. He uses somewhat dark and disturbing artwork. His mother was an ex-convent nun. An English artist now living in Sligo of a similar age to Spencer Bassett, is called Tasman Bassett. Her YouTube channel reveals she slightly resembles Spencer and John, and she sounds like the girl Alex that took over Hugo's Meghan and Harry YouTube channel. On the Wayback Machine, we can find numerous other related channels, but they haven't all been archived or easily linkable to Hugo Talks. There's a great, if complicated, graphic at Littlesis, highlighting many of these connections. Hugo Talks has been running multiple YouTube channels and websites for years. Researching and editing videos takes hours. How much free time does Hugo have? Doesn't he work? If not, what money does he live on? There's no way one man can be doing all this alone. He has help. The question is from who? And for what reason? Is he just an everyday man on a personal journey of discovery? Is he an opportunist making money? Is he an agent sent to muddy the waters? An agent provocateur? Is he 77th Brigade? Is he a team of people? An intelligence officer? Is he controlled opposition? I honestly don't know, but he is definitely linked to Spencer and John Bassett. Many people online think that Hugo Talks is Spencer Bassett. And maybe he is. If he's not, you'd think that Spencer would say something on his own channel, that he's not related to Hugo Talks as people are suggesting. But, Hugo has often spoken about films or music he used to like, old rock music for example, things from the 80s-90s. And let's be honest, Spencer is about 21. Which means he would have been 18 in 2020 when Hugo Talks took off. And as we have just seen, Hugo's been doing videos since 2016, so Spencer would have been 14 to 15 years old. Wouldn't he have been in school? Not to mention that's prime age for boys' puberty, you know, when their voice changes. Except Hugo's voice and accent are the same, even when he pronounces things weirdly. Maybe he uses voice modification software. He's got a London accent. John Bassett is from Walthamstow, London. The more likely option is that Hugo Talks, Yellow King Filmboy, Yellow King Soundman, Intelligentsia, Soundbites, Bandcamp, Illuminous 6, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry News, are all actually Spencer's dad, John Bassett, who's probably in his 40s. That makes a lot more sense. And he uses his platforms to promote his son's music with no fear of copyright. Hugo's language, life views etc. would correlate to a 40-something-year-old man, not a teenager. If his mother was an ex-convent nun, it would explain his sudden, apparent transformation to Christianity, and massive knowledge of Bible scripture. So is Hugo really John Bassett? If so, it would make sense that he would trust his daughter Tasman to take over the Harry and Meghan channel. Or are they just friends? Related? I've always assumed that Hugo was located in Ireland, despite his accent, as he seems to know a lot about the country, their news and uses Irish slang. Hugo doesn't want you knowing about his past work. He deletes and blocks anyone that mentions it. Why? All of his past work is in the public domain and there's nothing terribly embarrassing about it, simply contradictory to his views today. We aren't asking for his address and telephone number. But as he asks us for our name and email to comment on his website, he should at least be honest with us too. Otherwise, he's a hypocrite. He now has a forum filled with people's comments and thoughts, linked to their email. Is this a data harvesting exercise? Any bad press about Hugo's past work is quickly removed. His channel comes up top of searches and no mainstream media have come out to discredit him, despite his quick rise to fame in alternative media. Final things of note, Hugo Talks equals 33 in numerology, gematria, and he originally used purple for his logo page and icon, which is a Masonic and royal color with many occult symbolisms. His former channels had strange names such as Goat Collective, Intelligentsia, Illuminous 6, Yellow King, and used owl and wolf imagery in his profile pictures. YouTube channel Screen Spirit suggested that Hugo's name of Yellow King Filmboy is named after the occult book The King in Yellow. Wikipedia describes the book as esteemed horror stories, decadent literature, horror and supernatural, no mention of the occult. Maybe, maybe not. TV show True Detective based their first season on The King in Yellow. The character of the same name commits murders and crimes and is a member of an elite Cajun, Creole cult that uses folk Catholicism and Vodun rituals. Everyone is allowed to evolve and change their mind on many topics over their lifetime. Hugo may have done a 180-degree turn on his views on the royal family and Hollywood, but why does he delete and actively hide his past work? What is he hiding? It's time to come clean and be honest. Confession is good for the soul after all.